So good morning, welcome to Easter Sunday 2025, welcome to episode 31. Yeah, done a bit more, so I don't know whether I've got that in free before. Taken off this piece of the driver's seat support, basically cut that weld that was there, just one tag weld. Unpick the floor here at the front. You'll notice there's more missing because it's down there on the floor. Been clinging up here on the inside trying to figure out what to do. Move the wiring bits from there. I've got that unpicked to there on the floor, but I can't get at these ones because the pedal box is in the way, the pedals are in the way. Can't decide whether to cut here or take it all the way up there. Can't drill through from underneath, so these ones are drilled through from underneath. That's Merlin wanted to come in. Let me just let Merlin in. Hang on. Where are you going? Where are you going? Right. Yeah, so that was in. Yeah, so that was in like so. Drilled through underneath, from underneath. Can't drill through over there because the chassis rail's in the way. So yeah, I got that one out. It had been repaired already in this corner there. Yeah, so I'll just remake that piece. But having said that, the foot repair section comes with a bulkhead side on and that piece all one, so we'll see. What are you doing? He's mooching about. So yeah, the problem is we've got underneath there, you see we've got the supports here. Here there's some spot welds for that bracket. I might just come across here, across to the other side of the chassis rail, straight down. And then the difficult bit is going to be replicating these channels. I don't think I need any of these holes. You want to go back out? Hang on. Yes, obviously. Now he's gone out, as I was saying before in the last episode, I want to fill that hole in, blank that off. These holes aren't needed. Those holes aren't needed. That hole's not needed. That hole's not needed. None of these. There's a screw that goes there. Don't need that. Don't need that. All this pitting. Don't need that. So, don't need that. Might need that. So do I just cut it out, use it as a template, and put the strengthener bits on a completely new piece, cut a new piece out of steel, refold that lip, probably. I've ordered another roll of fuel line, so that's a point I want to think about that as well. I need to look up 5/16 copper pipe connectors rather than that I've put on. It'll do though. I think we might need another coat of rust treat on that because it's still looking a bit rusty. Anyway, so yeah, I've got my measurement there. You can see I've scribed it down. So yeah, just don't know what to do really, because you know all this bulkhead needs fixing. I don't know whether to do that before I put the sill back in. No, is that leaking? I think it's okay. It's just a bit damp because it was cold this morning. I think that's all it is. I think it's just a bit of condensation. So yeah, because all this needs, I've got to replace all this side panel. Front wing's got to come off. Decker panel's got to come off. Bonnet's got to come off. Dash has got to come out. So do I just strip it all down? Yeah, that repair piece in there went under the floor as well. Don't know. Don't know. Or do I put the sill in first and get the back end together and the B-post together? Probably. Actually, back to what I was doing before about doing this section first, this floor bit. So that means I think cutting it where I can get at it. I think I've got to cut it here and then deal with the rest later. Right, so next at some point later today I'll cut that piece out. So it's after lunch on Easter Sunday. As you can see, I've taken out that piece, cut along the edge with a combination of reciprocating saw, Dremel and angle grinder. The actual fuel lines are perfect, so I don't have to replace them. The only problem is that one's popping out of there a little bit. This bend here is to go around that strengthening piece that I've just taken off. Well, I'm assuming it's a strengthening piece. But I've took that off because that's right underneath where some of these little pinholes are, where I need to repair. Equally, I've taken that one off there, which again wasn't really doing anything. Might put these back on, not sure. But at the moment I'm just getting all this under seal off. So I've been scraping it off, tried wire brushing it, but it doesn't do anything, it just makes a mess. So it's just scraping. I'm going to get the heat gun on it next and see if that'll make it easier. But then, yeah, so you can see all the pinholes there shining through, and that bit there where it's really thin. So we'll make repairs to that. That's come out of there. So I want to repair this before I put the sill in. I don't have to, I'll probably weld it in after I've got the sill in, just because it'll be easier, make it easier to get the sill in, won't it? But yeah, I'm going to fill that one in. But yeah, while this is out, it allows me to wax all the top of that. So yeah, this is one of my new welding blankets, welding curtains, screens. I think I got them off eBay. They're huge, they're massive. Bought two. Right, do a bit more. So Easter Monday, I'm not going to do any more today other than just put a bit of paint on. So cut off those bits. That was that huge hole where it was all peeling and rusting. That was the cables, I think, for the electric air suspension. Then we've done this piece. So there we go. So didn't need that hole. Don't need that hole. Don't need that hole. Those two will be used to weld back. Then I did that piece, which is that bit, and then I did that bit, look, they can go in the scratch pile now. But it's warped a bit. So I need to, I'm just going to, as I said, put some weld-through primer on for now, just so it doesn't rust. I've flatted back these bits, just not that last one I did. But you can see it's warped a bit, so it just needs straightening out. But I will do that another day. I'm not going to do that now. I think it's mainly that one and this one now. There's a bit of warp on that, but I'll straighten it out in the press at some point. But for now I just want to put a bit of paint on these, so I'll just put some of that on. There we go. That'll do for now. So I'll stay like that now probably till tomorrow night. Still doing coursework and then back to work tomorrow. What else do I need? Oh, I just need to grind those welds flat. Then I can press it flat. Then I can weld on the supports underneath and de-rust, and then it'll get painted before it goes back in. Morning. It's Friday morning. Don't know what the GoPro was doing then, doing funny things. Anyway, Friday morning, yep. It's 10:30. Hello. It's Merlin. So I've got a coffee. You can see I've taken all the under seal off those, put rust treat on, put a coat of weld-through primer underneath both of those. Finished grinding that weld back, sort of pressed it a bit flat as much as I can. This is the area, this is the underside. This is the top side. So next what I want to do today is get some actual of that black epoxy paint. Used to be called 1-to-1, didn't it? Anyway, I can't remember what it is. The rust buster stuff, I'll put it here what it is. But I want to get a coat of that on underneath where I'm going to weld. You going out again? Go on then. Go on. Just been having a mooch. And I can paint in that one when it's on, but not this one. It's too long and too shallow. So I want to get some paint in there. And paint these, the outriggers, ready for the sill to go on, and then the actual sill comes in two pieces. Outer sill, part of the floor section, that's the lip that the brake pipes go on. This is the inner sill with the body mounts on. You can see that's got like a plastic coat on, or a black paint. Now this technically isn't correct for this car, or this year of car, because it's got these strengthener bits on there. They're not on the later cars, both sides, because the later cars would have the boxes on for either the electronic air suspension, valve body and pump in a box, or the actual air reservoir. But it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to take them off. So what I want to do is, if I just do that, you get paint in there. Get the epoxy mastic in there, paint that as well. So when I get a coat of paint in there, I don't need to paint this because it's got this stuff on. Once that's had two coats, clamp it together, bolt it together, try it in, get it welded together. So I want to get the paint on today, coat tomorrow, maybe weld it together on Sunday. It'll obviously have to be tried in, so I've got to chop off the bottom of the A post, bottom of the B post. If I get a coat of paint on this today, I might get another coat of paint on tonight, because you've got to leave it 4 hours and it's 10:30, so that would be, say, 5 o'clock. So I might get a coat on tonight. Don't have to mix an awful lot, do I? And I've had that roll of Cunifer 5/16 copper fuel pipe come, but I'm going to stick it in store. As I say, I'm not going to use it because those pipes are good. Right, let's get my overalls on. I've put this on because I don't want to get paint on them. Get my overalls on, mix the paint, get the paint on. That's the first coat done on the crossmember outriggers, that one and the one that you can't see under here. Just that bit. Inside of those. Inside of the sill where it will close in. But you might be able to make out down there. I've run out of paint. So that little bit needs another coat because I put a full coat on that bit and I wasn't going to. That's where my paint went. So I did mix the right amount, but I want to weld that bit in first, and I'm not going to be able to underseal on top of the chassis rail, so I do want to coat it in epoxy, so that'll have to be seam sealed next before it gets the next coat, that one. So I will mix the same amount again and just use it up on the underside of this before I weld this bit together. Right, nothing till tonight now. Morning then, Sunday morning. Finished getting one coat on the underside of the outer sill section. Not done that bit because it's not the underside. That needs another coat before that can get welded together. I've had that arrive, which I'll come to in a minute. This has now had 2 coats and a seam seal. These have had 2 coats, so they're now ready to weld on, which I'll be doing later. That one goes there. Once that's welded on, that then needs 2 coats on this bit and seam seal, and then that can get welded in. So that I'll weld on today, and it might get 1 or 2 coats today. It won't get welded in today. The outriggers have had 2 coats. But yeah, I ordered this from GDI Products on eBay, and DX, the parcel company, supposedly delivered it on Tuesday, but there was nothing here and it was really fishy. So they sent me another one, and this one has come direct from DDS Metals. So this is what I was on about, in that they come with this outer repair section for that, but it's wrong, so I have to remove that. But also what's wrong, those channels aren't the right size. So this is what I was saying about it comes with that piece for this. Now let's get the light. If I put that there, let's get a tape measure. I have to do it this way, won't I? So what's the diameter of that? 2 centimetres, roughly. It's under that. So 2 centimetres. Up here, 3. So they're not actually big enough and they're not actually deep enough. So again, another repair panel. Supposedly, they're not right. What a pain. It'll do, but what a pain. Nothing's right for these cars, is it? It's all made for the earlier stuff. Pain in the backside. Anyway, let's get on with some other jobs. I'm probably going to... I need to move some stuff. Still haven't put any oil in the flipping axle. So the rear axle still haven't got any oil in. Still haven't got the anti-roll bar on. Still haven't made up those brake lines, which are pointless until I've got the seal back in, really. Need to get on with stuff. So it's now about 2 PM Sunday afternoon. That's welded on. That's had 1 coat on the cleaner looking sections. That's now had 2 coats. Nothing on that face yet apart from just emptying out my brush. So once that's finished drying, that can get tried in. But for now, we're going to come this way we're going to look at this. So that was the trailer plug that I'd ordered, round, so it wouldn't fit the gasket, so I had to order another one. So I just ordered a new one with the same type gasket. So this is the one, much, it's only like £2 something. eBay, so that's a 7-pin. New gasket, new nuts and bolts. So I've cut it to the right sort of length. You can see I've pulled out all this other cable as well. That's all the excess stuff there. The excess outer. So now what I've got to do, I've marked this somewhere where the correct length is. Maybe that was it. Maybe I've already cut it where the correct length was. I've got to cut the cables next. Desolder this lot, solder it back on at the right length. So that's the job for now. So coming up to 5 PM on the Sunday. I did try, so I've got this all sorted now. I've got that plug back on, the right length of the wire and everything. I did try cutting them, flux, cleaned them all up. They wouldn't solder together, a couple of them though. So crimped them with the heat shrinked crimps, but I've run out. I just need one more. So I'll have to order some more and then that'll be ready. I've got a bit more extra sleeve to go over there and just cover those, so then there'll just be a little bit of wire exposed and that'll be ready to go on. Just mixing the final second coat of paint for that underfloor section to go in. I'm just waiting for that to go. So there. So the Armour Guard epoxy mastic almost out of that. The trouble is when you're mixing small amounts, it's really difficult to get the measurements right, you know, the proportions, because I weigh it because it's easier, because as soon as you start pouring on when it's really thick, it just splodges up the side of the container and you can't tell. So that's 15 grams of the black, like component A, then it should be 5 grams of component B, but it won't register. So you have to sort of do it by eye, and that's why you end up sort of running out of the component B. So yeah, this will just have the final second coat on that and that bit, and then that'll be ready to go back in. But it won't go back in now for quite a few weeks, I don't think, unless I get to do it on Thursday. I might get to do it on Thursday. We'll have to see. And then any excess that I've got left I'll put on this face, this side face. That can be the first coat. Yeah, so come back to you when I've done that. There we go. That's had the remnants put on that bit. That's had the 2 coats now. Ready to go back in. So that's it for today, that's it for Sunday, that's it for this week. Nothing till at least Thursday. Only be a little bit on Thursday because then I'm off on holiday. So my mum and dad are coming to cat sit Merlin, so off for 2 weeks. So nothing will happen. No video for 2 or 3 weeks, I suppose, until I do some more. So thanks for watching. See you in episode 32 whenever that is out.